Welcome back to Demon of the Week, and today we're going to look at a spirit that was kind of listed as with the name Chemosh, but it's most definitely Chemosh, and I'll explain why just now.
Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button.
Okay, so this spirit comes from another one from Weir's Hierarchy of Hell and is listed as, well, with the name Chemosh, Chamos. But most definitely the Moabite god of war and destruction, Chemosh. I'm sure some people probably pronounce this Chemosh, but considering that's kind of a Semitic or has Semitic origins, I'm going to rather go with the pronunciation, if I can even say that word, of Chemosh. But anyway, so I'm going to focus on, there's not much information about Chemosh apart from the fact that it is related to war and destruction and is usually mentioned as being this Moabite god. So that's what I'm going to focus on, is Chemosh. Alright, so worshipped by the Moabites, an ancient Semitic speaking people who lived in the region now known as Jordan. Chemosh played a significant role in their religious and cultural practices, as well as in the broader context of the ancient Near East. The origins of Chemosh are somewhat obscure, but his worship is well documented in various historical and archaeological sources. The Moabites considered Chemosh their national deity. The name Chemosh is found in the Hebrew Bible, where he is mentioned in several passages, most notably in the context of the Moabite king Mesha's rebellion against Israel. The Mesha Stele, is it Stele? Stele. I think it's Stele. I'm going to stick with Stele. The Mesha Stele, also known as the Moabite stone, is one of the most significant archaeological artifacts that provide insight into the worship of Chemosh. Discovered in 1868 in Daemon, in Jordan, the stele dates back to the 9th century BCE and is inscribed with a lengthy text written by King Mesha of Moab. In his inscription, Mesha credits Chemosh with victories over the Israelites and attributes his successes to the deity's favor. Chemosh was primarily associated with war, destruction, and the fiery aspects of divinity. He was often invoked during times of conflict and was believed to bring the victory to those who worshipped him and adhered to his rituals. Chemosh's nature as a war god is reflected in the Moabite practices of human sacrifice, which were intended to appease him and secure his favor in battle. The symbolism of Chemosh is closely tied to fire and bloodshed, elements commonly associated with war deities in ancient cultures. Not something we really do today. But this destructive aspect of Chemosh set him apart from other gods of the region, highlighting the Moabites' fierce and martial character. The worship of Chemosh involved various rituals, many of which were designed to secure his favor and protection. These rituals included animal sacrifices, offerings of food and drink, and, in some extreme cases, human sacrifices. One of the most famous biblical accounts of Chemosh worship is found in the book of Judges, where the Israelite judge Jephthah vows to sacrifice the first thing that comes out of his house if Chemosh grants him victory over the Ammonites. Tragically, it is his daughter who greets him, leading to a heartbreaking fulfillment of his vow. Chemosh is frequently mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, often in a negative light due to his association with the Moabites, who were often in conflict with the Israelites. The Bible portrays Chemosh as a false god, and his worship is condemned as idolatrous and detestable. It's written from that perspective, so that's natural. One notable reference to Chemosh is found in 1 Kings 11, verse 7, where it is mentioned that King Solomon, influenced by his foreign wives, built a high place for Chemosh on a hill east of Jerusalem. This act of accommodating foreign deities is criticized as leading Solomon astray and contributing to his eventual downfall. And I think we can relate other stories to this particular thing, especially if we have a look at these stories related to Asmodeus, which I have spoken about previously. In the prophetic literature, Chemosh is mentioned in the context of divine judgment against Moab. The prophet Jeremiah, for example, prophesies the downfall of Moab and the destruction of Chemosh's cult in Jeremiah 48, verse 7, 13, and 46. Just in case you want to go check that out. The worship of Chemosh declined significantly after the Moabites were conquered by the Neo-Babylonian Empire in the 6th century BCE. The spread of monotheistic religions, particularly Judaism and later Christianity, further diminished the influence of Chemosh and other ancient deities. Despite this decline, Chemosh is still an interesting figure in the study of ancient Near Eastern religions. His association with war, destruction, and sacrifice provides valuable insights into the religious practices and cultural values of the Moabites and their neighbors. Now, just on a slightly personal note, I haven't come across anybody who does worship Chemosh or works with Chemosh in any way, shape, or form. If there is anybody watching this, I would love to hear from you in the comments. But this is a particular spirit that has kind of gotten a bad rap, especially from the monotheistic religions. And mostly because, I don't think it's just because, he was worshipped by the Moabites, who were against the Israelites. That was one perspective, obviously. But I think also because he is this associated with war and destruction. And usually that's viewed as a bad thing. But we can view war and destruction in many, many, many different ways. We can wage war on disease. We can wage war against bad habits that we're trying to break. All such things. And I would actually be very interested to find out from anybody who works with Chemosh how they particularly work with him, and in what regard. Because I can see the spirit being a very valuable inclusion, but as I said, it depends how the spirit actually interacts nowadays in modern times with humans. I'd be very interested anyway. Okay, so that is Chemosh, and I'll see you next week for another one. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.